I am back. Had to get some things straight here. Lost some data, but I am back. And we're going to go back like we used to. You think I was going to stay away? No, not going to happen. Alright, so to my subscribers that hung in there, I appreciate you. And you're going to be privy to some information that I had stored up for you, and let's get back into it just like old times. Alright, so I'm not going to do anything fancy here. I'm just going to get you guys up to speed as of right now, and it's February 3rd, 2023. Happy New Year. Let's go. Louisiana. You only have one drawing, and your first two numbers, they keep adding up to these numbers here, but the hot ones are here at the bottom, the colder ones at the top. And being as though, and this is with every state I'm going to be doing next, alright, so if you see two numbers here, that means that all of these keep repeating. The longer the line is, like this, that goes out here, that means they keep changing, and it's the first time that they've been out. All right, so here we go. Louisiana's first two numbers, A and B, and they keep totaling up to 8 a lot, 4, 13, 11, 14, and 7, and then they get colder here. But I would stay with this here. I would grab these numbers and then play them as your first two numbers that they add up to. Alright, but the back numbers, they keep adding up to, and they keep in here, they keep staying in here, because this area here is not long. Right here, top, there's only 3 and 1 that been out once, so they keep repeating. Okay, the back totals, and your totals are right here for Louisiana. Okay, so if you're wondering why you're not hitting, this is probably why, because you're not staying within these totals. All right, let's go to South Carolina. Midday. Here are your totals in the front. Okay, they're a little bit longer. Okay, but they still stand within the parameter. They could come out here at times. All right, but South Carolina, here are your totals in the front. Your first two numbers should add up to these. Your back numbers should add up to here. There's only one number that's been out once. Alright, and that's 2. And that means you should stay right in here. This is your totals. You should be dealing with your back two numbers. Alright, your second and third numbers. And then all your numbers should total somewhere in here. Okay? If you have a problem when I go too fast, I'm going to try to make this video fast as I can. You can go back and read it. And review the video all over again, and you'll be in it. South Carolina in the evening. Totals in the front. Back totals. And all 3 totals. Once you're done. Mississippi. Front total. You got a short number 1 here. If you remember, short number 1s mean you should stay here, because they keep repeating. Okay, any short line, you could just stay right here, because that's one of these numbers are going to repeat. All right, this is your back totals, and this is your totals here, all 3 numbers. All right, North Carolina, midday, front totals, back totals, and all 3 numbers total. North Carolina evening, front total, back totals, and all 3 numbers total. Okay. Georgia, midday. Here are your front totals. These are your hot numbers. I mean your hot totals. So if 2 numbers add up to 12 and 11 and 7, it gets colder as I go up, remember. Okay, it keeps adding up to 12 a lot. Check it out, do the research yourself. Like 6 and 6, 8 and 4, adds up to 12. 7 and 5, 5 and 7. Okay. Back totals. Line's not that long, so that means these are repeating. These numbers are repeating. All right. And your totals, only 2 numbers have been out once. All right. 16 has been out 6 times. Okay, that's how you read this stuff when I'm going through it. All right, Georgia, in the evening, front totals. That's a long line right there. So you have to watch it. Either you can eliminate all these because something new is coming because it has a long line, or you could just stay right in here and use these totals. All right. I'm going to be putting a sheet out also where you can just grab these and just throw them into the sheet, and I'll show you how to do that in a different video once I start putting these sheets out for sale. Okay. All right. So Georgia evening, here it is, still your back totals. It's a short line, very short. It's only one number that's been out once, so that means these keep repeating. Okay. Total. It's a long line, sort of, but I still can hang around in here. That's what all your totals should be. There are certain numbers that's missing here, and they have not been coming out. So, but it has a nice little line here. But these are every 2 months. All right, these are 60 drawings that I'm doing this out of. All right, Georgia night drawing. Short line, number 1. That means these keep repeating. So these are your first 2 numbers that you're looking at. They shouldn't be going outside of these totals. Your back 2 numbers. And all 3 numbers. Arkansas, midday. Front 2 numbers, totals. 9 has been out 10 times. A total of 9 been out 10 times for your first 2 numbers, so that's a hot one. Back totals. Okay. And all totals here. 5 and 26 has been out once, so I would definitely use these as repeats because that's what's happening in Arkansas in the daytime. Arkansas evening. Front totals. Back totals. And all 3 numbers totals. Kentucky, midday. Front total. Short. Back totals. That's short also. And the total of all 3 numbers are right here. Watch out for this long line here though. Kentucky in the evening. Front total. Back totals. And all 3 numbers total. West Virginia. Front total. Back totals. And all 3 numbers. See how it comes out here this far? That means that they're using a lot of different totals, alright? So they're not repeating as much. This is actually longer than the other ones here. So that tells you that they're using new numbers. So out of 27 possible totals, so you can see that they're coming out more because this is the longest line. So your new numbers are coming out more than the numbers that are repeating in West Virginia. All right, moving on next to New Mexico midday. New number line is longer than the other ones, so be on the lookout for that. And this is your front totals from New Mexico in the midday. Your back totals, it's got a short first line, so that means these numbers are repeating. So you can actually do this. You can grab these numbers here and kind of ignore these, or If you think one of these totals would drop down to this line, then you can just grab everything here. Okay. Alright, next we're going to go New Mexico Evening. New Mexico Evening has a short introductory line here, which is the first line here. So that means all these keep repeating. So your first two numbers should be right around in here. They should add up to these. Second positions, second and third position, they keep coming up with these totals here. Alright, and then when you're done, all the totals here. Alright. All my smart people understand all this there. But again, if you look at my other videos or you go back to this one, you'll see what I'm talking about. But numbers can't get away from totals. They got to be even, odd, high, or low. You can't get past it. They can try it, but it won't work. Alright, let's go to Tennessee in the morning. It's the first game. Usually one of my favorite games to play in the morning to get me started. Alright, so we got front totals. Look like they're repeating because they only have 3 new numbers. Okay. Your back numbers. And your totals. Now this is a good one because only 22 has been out once. So that definitely means that these are repeating. There's no other numbers that's coming in yet. So that if you do something here and you add your numbers up and they don't add up to none of this, most likely you're going to lose. Alright, let's go to Tennessee in the midday. Front total. Short. Look how long this is. See, a front total could come all the way out here like this. This is how long. See how long this line is? If it was doing this, that means that these numbers aren't repeating, but it's not. So that means these totals are repeating. Alright. Back totals for Tennessee midday. Alright. Check these numbers out here. And then all 3 numbers totaled once you're done. Let's go to Tennessee in the evening. Front total. Back totals. And all total in here. See this long line here? See, new totals are being introduced. So if you see any numbers that's not equaling up to these, matter of fact, let me see here. Alright, I'll show you guys about this later on, but there are 12 numbers that haven't came out, okay, and that's these. So if you don't think that you could use these as repeats, you could use one of those numbers I just showed you. I'll get into all that. Matter of fact, I might just take those numbers and put them down here one of these days. This way I don't confuse anybody. We can just show what doesn't show up. And you can also go back and I'll start using that in my videos there. I'll start adding those in so you can see what numbers didn't come out. Alright, let's go to Texas in the morning. Front totals. Back totals. And your totals. All 3 numbers in the orange here. Right here. These are totals, not numbers you should use. They are just totals. Texas daytime. Front totals. Back totals. That's your second and your third numbers. And all 3 numbers total. And 10 and 12 have been out 7 times. See how these are? That means they've been out. That's how many times they've been out. And 18's been out 6 times. 5's been out 14. 14 and 7 are tied at being out 5 times in the last 2 months. So these are 60 drawings. Okay, this is what's been going on in 60 drawings. Alright, Texas in the evening. Their game, front total. And we only got 4 introductory numbers. that's been out once. The back total here, 9 being the hottest because it's been out 10 times. The 8's been out 8 times. 12 has been out 7 times. These are back totals, your second, your third number. And your totals look like we've been having repeats here because this first number line has been out 3 times. So 16 has been out once, 19 has been out once, and 2 has been out once. So that means these are repeats. They keep coming out as a total. Alright. Next one, Texas Night. First total. First 2 number totals. And this is a good one because that means these are repeating right here. Second number totals. This is a good one. I might have to play this tonight. And here. That's all 3 number totals. Ohio, Midday. First 2 number combinations. It's right here. Fairly short line here. That means these are repeating. Second 2 numbers. The back 2 numbers. Second and third number totals. And all 3 number totals. Okay. Let's go to Ohio in the evening. First 2 number totals. Back 2 number totals. And all 3 number totals. Let's go to Michigan. Midday. First 2 number totals. Back 2 number totals. And all 3 numbers total. They go over this, then you might be barking up the wrong tree. So let's just say you say all 3 numbers, you do all your numbers here, and they add up to 27. Now, where do you see a 27 in here? I don't see one. So it would be kind of foolish to play a number that adds up to 27, like 9, 9, and 9. Okay. It might be on the way. I'm not going to tell you it's not coming, but would I play it? No. Alright, let's go to Michigan in the evening. Front 2 totals. Back 2 totals. And all 3 number totals. Wow, look how long this line is here. Like I said, always pay attention to the length of the line. Especially this one. This is my most important one. They're using a lot of numbers here. It's like when you see something like this, you just go and possibly look at the numbers that didn't come out of 27 possible totals, and then you play those totals. If you don't trust that these will repeat, you know what I mean? So that's how you do this. All right, New Jersey. Midday. Front totals. Fairly short line here on the top. I need to color this a different color here because this is a line that kind of tells you everything pretty much that you need to know. Because if it's a long line way out here, that means they're not repeating often down here. Because you shouldn't even worry about this if this is long. It would scare me. So, alright, so Jersey in the daytime. Back totals. Fairly short line here. That means these are all repeating here. They're just taking turns coming out as a total. And all 3 numbers. Wow, look at that. Only 3 new numbers. Alright, and these are your totals for New Jersey. And the 3 that likes to come out. New Jersey in the evening. Pretty long line here in the front. Back. And totals. Only 5 new totals in 2 months. Or 60 drawings, however you want to look at it. Alright, let's go to the tri-state. New Hampshire, Vermont, you know, those numbers. Yeah, those states. Alright. Front totals. back totals, and totals once you're done with all three of your numbers. Again, when I put these sheets out, you're going to be able to just grab these just like this and paste them if you got pick 3, 4 SUG like I asked before, because it's going to be pretty hard for you guys to do this if you don't. And you can just go right in there and just paste it right into there, and we'll get into these things here. I'll grab these too, like these numbers be repeating, and I'll just grab these and put those in there also. And again, I'll make a video and show you how to do that, and then it'll spit out this combination of numbers once you're done. It's pretty cool. Alright, that's Tri-State in the midday. Alright, Tri-State evening. Wow, only one number. So that means these numbers are repeating as the first two numbers. Do anything else, you might be losing. Okay, unless a new number is going to come here. Alright, so be careful with that. I'm going to have to mark that down too. Alright, and the back two numbers total these. It's got a longer line than the first two numbers. All total. Alright, here. Let's go to Pennsylvania midday. First two number totals. Wow, look at 9 totals. Been out 10 times in 2 months. 60 drawings. Alright, back to totals. And all three numbers total when you're done. Let's go to Pennsylvania evening. Wow. One new number. 3 is a total. So that means all these keep repeating. First two numbers. The first two numbers add up to these. Second two numbers. And your totals. Pennsylvania evening. Alright, let's go to Indiana, Iowa midday. They share lotteries, so first two numbers total. Nice little short first introductory line. Second totals. All three numbers total. So there's 5 new numbers in 2 months. So these numbers are repeating as well. But use your own discretion. Let's go to the evening, Indiana, Iowa. Look at this. First two numbers add up to these, because these are just getting started. Look how short this line is. Back two numbers, Indiana, Iowa evening, and the totals. Let's go to Florida midday. Front totals, back totals, and wow, look at this line. And these new numbers are coming out all the time. New totals are coming out all the time, and these are not repeating as much if it's this long. That's how you read this. All right, Florida evening. Front totals, back totals, and all three numbers total. Short line here, that means these are repeating. All right, Illinois midday. Wow, one number new. That means these are repeating as your first two totals. Back two numbers. This is also a short first line. Means these are repeating as totals. And all three numbers total. Long line. Watch that. It means a new number that is not here might come as a total. Alright. Illinois in the evening. Front, back totals, and all three numbers total. Delaware, midday. Front totals, nice long line, watch it. Back two totals, and all three numbers total. Delaware evening, first two numbers, back two number totals, and all three numbers totals. Look at this, one number in 2 months. So that means all these are repeating. Let's move to Missouri midday. Front two totals, back two totals, all three numbers total. Missouri evening, front two, back two totals. Wow. All three numbers total. And it's new numbers coming out all the time. This is the longest line out of all of these. So we're gonna get good at this. I know somebody's gonna catch them slipping by coming in with numbers that haven't shown yet. And the numbers that haven't shown yet are right here. Again, I'm gonna put those all in the sheet. You'll just be able to come in here and just see that. But one of these numbers are gonna come out because it has a lot of movement up here because it's a long line. Alright, Nebraska. You guys only have one drawing, but you have a short introductory line here. Back two numbers. All three numbers total. Virginia, midday. First numbers. Second two numbers, and all three numbers totals. Virginia evening, first two number total, back two number totals, and all three number totals. DC midday, here's your first two number totals, your back two number totals, and all three number totals. Okay, it doesn't have that much movement here on the first line, so it's almost safe to say these are going to be the ones that's going to be repeating. Alright, let's go to DC in the evening. Got a lot of movement here, but not that bad, but here we go. First two number totals, back two number totals, short line here, so that means these are repeating, and all totals, all three numbers. Okay, Connecticut midday. First two numbers. Wow. You see what that means, right? You see one number like that, that means these are repeating. Second two numbers and your totals in Connecticut for midday. Let's go to Connecticut evening. Bam. These are repeaters. First two numbers totals. Second two number totals. All three number totals in Connecticut for the evening. Kansas, midday. First two number total, back two number totals, all three number totals. Kansas evening. First two number totals, back two number total, all three numbers total. Long line here means these numbers have not shown up yet. That means these totals have not shown it. I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying numbers. when I'm saying totals, okay? These are totals, not numbers that you should use. All right. Wisconsin, midday. First two number totals, back two number totals, and all three numbers totals. Wisconsin evening, first two number totals, back two numbers totals, and all three number totals. And again, this is a long line here, and these numbers have not shown up yet. These totals haven't shown up. New York, midday, first two number totals, back two number totals, all three numbers total in 2 months. New York evening, first two number totals, back two number totals. Nice little long line here, so watch that. And all numbers total. One number been out once in 2 months, so that means these again are repeating. These numbers here. Wow. Washington State, first two number totals, back two number totals, and all three number totals. Colorado, midday, first two number totals, back two number totals, and all three number totals. Colorado evening, first two number totals, back two number totals, and all three number totals. Next we go on to Idaho, midday, first two number totals, back two number totals, and all three number totals. Idaho evening, first two number totals here, back two numbers total, all three number totals. California midday, here are your first two number totals, your back two number totals. Nice long line here, so that means new numbers are being introduced, so be careful. And all three numbers total. California in the evening, first two number totals, back two number totals, all three number totals. Oklahoma, last but not least, first two number totals, nice short line there, one number, back two totals, and when you're done, all three numbers here are totals. Right? There you go. I'm back. We're going to be doing more and more of this. I'm going to have more videos doing tutorials and showing you how to use Lotto Eyes and pick 3-4 SUG. Stay tuned, and we're going to see if we can get some nice wins out here, and I'll catch you next time on the next one. Feezy, take us on out of here.
Put them numbers in, watch them job. Put them numbers in, watch them job. Put them numbers in, watch them job. Put them numbers in, headed to the top, yeah. Blowing the whistle on any state, pick 3 and pick 4s. Boss still pays, but you know straight pays more. Nothing is definite, not what you do, but how you do it. He'll give it a weapon and knowledge and teach you how to use it. You don't wanna swing and miss, so look up Logic Hits. He got them tips and tricks, yeah, to make you filthy rich. Yo, so grab a pen and pad, put on your thinking cap. You wanna hit it strategy is where it's at. Put them numbers in, watch them drop. Put them numbers in, watch them drop. Put them numbers in, watch them drop. Put them numbers in, headed to the top. Yo, put them numbers in, watch them drop. Put them numbers in, watch them drop. Put them numbers in, watch them drop. Put them numbers in, headed to the top. Yo.